Formula One returns to Las Vegas for the second race in Sin City, and there is a lot of things that have been happening this week. A couple of drivers have had a taste of IndyCar and Le Mans prototype machinery. Other teams are bringing liveries for the one-off special event, as they do every year here in Las Vegas. And of course, one team is bringing a major 2025 upgrade to the rear end of their car. So without further ado, let's jump right in and discuss everything all the teams will be bringing to Las Vegas. And we'll be starting off with the major 2025 upgrade that the Racing Bull outfit are using this weekend. Now, this is something of a tradition, I should say, with regards to Racing Bull. What they do is, at the very back end of a season, they get the latest iteration of the Red Bull, their sister team, rear end. And this, of course, involves all the suspension, the gearbox casing, and everything else that you can imagine and a Formula One team can buy off of their kind of manufacturers, if you know what I mean, because they're a customer team of Red Bull, like Haas is a customer team of Ferrari, which is why the concepts are quite similar for both of these teams with regards to Ferrari and Red Bull. Now, what this is hoping to bring to the Racing Bull team is a 1/10 of a second in terms of a lap time improvement, just from the rear end having been updated to the 2024 specification. Now, unfortunately, this has come one race later than last year, and it's all to do with the correlation issues that Racing Bull have had this season. And with the internals and the structures and the layout of the rear suspension on the Red Bull RB20 this season being far more intricate and delicate in terms of how you set the car up, they wanted to make sure they had all of these settings and setup in place before they go racing with it, because they don't want to be stuck in the correlation issue. Now, outside of this upgrade from Red Bull, they do have their own changes and upgrades that they're bringing from in-house. And this is to do with the Sidepod configuration on the Racing Bull. And what they'll be updating is the water slide region of the Sidepods, but they will not be changing the inlet on it. That will be something for 2025, where I think we will see literally every single team on the grid going towards this complete overbite with a more scooped inboard inlet for their cars. And there's a few other changes in and around the Sidepod region as well. So there's a lot for Racing Bull to get on top of from the beginning, from the get-go, with regards to this weekend. Now, with Las Vegas and the track as it is, a lot of teams will be having to bring completely different parts and specifications for this event. And what Las Vegas comprises of as a circuit is, of course, huge long straights with 3 DRS zones across the entirety of the race track for use in qualifying and the race. And of course, slow speed corners. It's very much a stop-start Formula One racetrack. There is not really many high-speed corners, so the downforce and drag levels are very much on the medium to lower range of a circuit. And Ferrari themselves will be bringing a few different parts to the car for this weekend. Now, for Ferrari, they will be bringing 2 different variations on their rear ring, the medium downforce and lower downforce specifications that they've made use of this season. And not only that, they will be bringing a updated lower drag front ring. Now, I believe from what the information we've been given by the Italian journalists over at Auto Racer, I believe they're called now, forgive me if I'm wrong, it's the same specification in terms of the design and concept of the front wing that they introduced in Singapore, but the flaps on the front wing are probably going to be trimmed to make sure there's less drag coming from this. And it's all about finding that perfect balance between the right level of downforce and drag that you need during the race, because really this is almost like spa levels of downforce. You need to make sure you don't have high drag because in the race you will be a sitting duck with those 3 DRS rings. And for Ferrari, it is all about tyres. Tyres, tyres, tyres. If they can get the temperature into the tyres, they will go with the lower drag front wing. But if they can't get heat internally into the tyres, they're going to have to bring more downforce onto the car to be able to run the tyres a lot harder and stronger. So this is a disadvantage Ferrari have in regards to what they're going to be able to achieve this weekend. They're somewhat compromised. While the circuit layout is pretty much tailor-made to their package, the extremely low temperatures are not. It's quite the contrary, in fact. They love the higher temperatures, and they don't excel in the extreme smaller and lower temperatures, unlike their rivals in Mercedes. This should suit them down to a T. Lower track temperatures always seem to favour them. Heck, look at the 2 races they ran this year in both Silverstone and Spa. It was very, very much on the lower side in terms of the temperatures, and it's very much going to be the case here in Las Vegas, with the weekend as a whole being at night. Now, away from the track, there's been some interesting collaborations with Red Bull and Honda, and it's all to do with giving Yuki Tsunoda and Max Verstappen Le Mans machinery and IndyCar machinery, and they filmed it yesterday. Now, as you can see on the screen here, I'm going to show you a clip of Max Verstappen in Le Mans prototype machinery. So yeah, that's a really cool event that the team put together for this weekend, and you could see from Max, he's visibly happy after getting out of the car. So that's really nice to see as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Max turn up much later in his career in one of those other categories. And that is where I'm going to wrap the video up. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. If you have, do leave a like on it down below. And if you're new and have found this video, do consider subscribing to the channel for all future Formula 1 content. Right everyone, I will catch you all later on in the week with more Formula 1 videos.